So I guess Trump never got to the bottom of reading 9/11 report. And so around 9/11, I got interested to learn physics and to become a physicist. And I was coming up with concepts and technologies to retrofit into the inner cities to detect dirty bombs and nuclear dirty bombs, or trafficking of nuclear weapons, or conventional improvised explosives. So I wrote this letter to Laura Letton in the Constitutional Center to hand over to Bush Sr. At the time, Bush Sr. was in charge of the Constitutional Center in Philadelphia. And I advised Laura Letton for Bush Sr. to read the letter and then to pass it over to Bush, W. Bush. At the time, W. Bush was president. And so this is the actual copy of the letter. And I even communicate with Secretary General at the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, on the issues of nuclear, shielding the world from nuclear weapons. So this is the SG Secretary General at United Nations organizations. This is the communications between me and the Secretary General Antonio Guterres from the United Nations on the subject of my technologies. And so my brother, he served in the first Gulf War, and he was at the Saudi Arabian American camp when Saddam Hussein was launching missiles into Saudi Arabia. The missiles landed a couple tents away from where my brother was stationed at. It was his camp. He almost got blown up by those Scud missiles that landed in Saudi Arabia. And so my brother and his whole family, a lot of my family members have served in the army. And I was telling my brother, we should not go to war in Iraq because because my brother he trained some SEAL team members when they were young recruits. My brother worked in New Jersey training young recruits, and so the two members that killed Osama bin Laden, my brother trained them as new recruits into the army, and so eventually they became SEAL Team 6 members. But my brother, he specialized in military field intelligence reconnaissance. So I told my brother, I advised him not to go to the second war in Iraq, that it was a mistake, that I believe that Osama bin Laden was somewhere in Pakistan, and that he crossed over Tora Bora and somehow he's in Pakistan, that we should send elite SEAL team members to kill Osama bin Laden in Pakistan. So I take it personal when Trump acted callously towards 9/11, and when due to the vacuum that Trump created with Abdul, the leader of the Taliban, Asakar Rahimi was pulled into that vacuum. And I thank President Obama for killing Osama bin Laden, and I thank President Biden for killing Asakar Rahimi. Uh, but this is another report that I wrote to Special Counsel at the U.S. Department of Justice, Robert Mueller, on the corruption within the Trump administration. That's my signature. around, this is from, this is in 2016, I was concerned that insurrections and militias were forming in America, potential insurrections. So I was working with both the inviting the DNC and the RNC to a constitutional summit in Philadelphia. So I wrote one to President Biden and Obama and Michelle Obama. So this is them. This is me from Ramiro Torres, First Lady scheduling team at the White Oval Office, executive of the presidency.gov. And so I wrote, invited them directly, and they replied back. But unfortunately, I didn't want to reveal my identity, so I didn't go through with the summit, the constitutional summit, because I believe that what's rising up in America is white extremist terror cells on behalf of Trump, and I was trying to have a constitutional summit and invite both parties to avoid any type of extreme extreme terror cells from rising up behind Trump. Uh, there's a lot of extreme militias that are rising up because of Trump hatred, and so I wanted to do a summit in the Constitutional Center in 2016. I have one too from President Biden, a communique. This is one of the letters I wrote while Obama was still in office. I wrote this letter to President Obama. So I'm concerned not only with what's going on in this country, with the corruption of the fossil fuel interests behind Trump. That's why Trump vetted out the investigation with Robert Mueller. And you gotta understand, Trump is not only a recluse in politics, but he's causing direct national security issues in the European Union. He, during his term in office, he was undermining the French government and the German government. And Steve Bannon wanted to spray fascism in Italy and in France to get them to annex themselves from the European Union. So it's directly a threat, Trump, not only to the Union of America, but to the Union of Europe, the European Alliance. So that's what I've been uncovering with the FBI and the CIA. And I'm concerned about these extreme terrorist militias for Trump that are bringing upon this nation guerrilla warfare for Trump.